the Tuesday, January 25th, 2022. It is currently 6:36. This is the Marshfield Zoning Board of Appeals. We are here in the Selectman's office this evening. We have our board members this evening, Steve Feeney, Larry Keane, Lynn Fiddler, Chris Blazos, and Brian Murphy. We are going to take a roll call before we get started and make sure that we have the audio that we need for this. Steve, can you hear my voice?
Unfortunately, yes.
Hey!
Oh, look at the fiends on the full screen.
Whoa, look at
Music to
you.
my ear.
You look dapper as
Look at him, he's
usual.
full screen.
Wow, that beard is righteous. All righty.
Coming up soon.
Yeah, well, welcome, and we're gonna get this started. We also, I noticed, Anthony, can you hear my voice as well?
Yes, I can.
Okay, so Anthony, you're representing as town council this evening?
Yes, I am.
Excellent, thank you for participating. All right, I'm gonna get this started. So tonight, we have a hybrid participation meeting, and I'd like to clarify what that means for the public and again for the board. Every effort will be made to ensure that members and the public can adequately access the proceedings to the best of our technical abilities. And despite our best efforts, this meeting may be viewed as a video recording on Marshfield Community Television website, marshfieldtv.org, and a transcript or other comprehensive record of the meeting will be available as soon as possible after the meeting. Please note that while an option for remote attendance and/or participation is being provided as a courtesy to the public, the meeting/hearing will not be suspended or terminated if technological problems interrupt the virtual broadcast unless required by law. This evening's meeting ID for this to join Zoom is 894-0850-9062. Passcode 399950. I'd like to remind the public that if you are dialing in and you're using your phone, you need to press *6 to have yourself heard at the time that you are given that opportunity. And then again, when you are completed, you need to press *6 to unmute yourself.
Lynn, this is Amber.
Yes.
Having a bit of a difficulty because I'm not the host of this meeting. I don't know who is, but when I joined, it usually makes me the host, and I'm not currently the host, and I can't share my screen.
I will send a text to John.
So we can take a 5-minute recess and get that figured out. I'd like to make a motion to take a 5-minute recess. Do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Brian Murphy. All those in favor?
Larry Keane, aye.
Lynn Fiddler, aye.
Brian Murphy, aye.
And Steve Feeney.
Steve Feeney, aye.
Okay, it's currently 6:40. We will get back to this at 6:45, hopefully, but that's the plan. Thank you. Just sit tight. Your mics are live.
Good, so as long as Chris isn't the cat.
I just sent a text to John.
Remember that when the attorney was the cat? What's it? Oh, Jesus. I can't, and he's back. Nothing happened. Well, no one watches that show anymore. I mean, they have the lowest ratings. I was reading stuff about how bad they've tanked since last year. Like, it's literally, they're down 83% viewership. They never tell the truth. I would say 60-40 middle. Yeah, sad. Yeah, that's what they call.
Brian, you can let Lynn know we figured it out.
He's got it.
Andrew, can you hear my voice?
Yes, I can.
Excellent. Are you in good shape?
Yeah, can you see my screen?
I can. We can.
Okay.
All right.
Good shape then.
All right. Thank you for your help again. All righty. Let's bring this meeting back to order. Now I said 5 minutes. Maybe I need to wait 5 minutes.
No, you can reopen it
Can I
up.
reopen it?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's make a motion to reopen. Do I have a second?
Second?
Second by Brian Murphy. All those in favor?
Larry Keane, aye.
Lynn Fiddler, aye.
Brian Murphy, aye.
Steve Feeney?
Sorry about that. Aye.
Okay, very good. So we're going to get back into this hearing, January 25th, 2022, and we are currently at 6:42. Okay. I'd like to remind the public and the board that we have MCTV here, and that is also available for the public, and we appreciate them being here. Okay. So this evening, we have 2 new hearings. We have a continued hearing to date certain of 21-72A, which is for February 8th, and we have another continued hearing to date certain to February 22nd, which is case 2190. We also have a closed case this evening, which is case 2202, SHM Green Harbor LLC. And we have multiple cases coming in front of us on February 8th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 cases currently, 9 cases for February 8th at this point. So I'm prepared to move forward with the hearing that's closed, and then that will give Brian an opportunity to scooch out, right?
To escape.
Yeah. Everybody okay with that? We're okay with that? Okay. So case 22-02 has been read in the record. We've had our hearing, and the board has closed this particular case
Oh, I can do that.
with a few things to add to the record, where we have,
Oh, Lynn, are we doing Steve Guard first?
yeah, don't you think?
Oh, well, the animal people are here, but it doesn't matter. I mean, it's up to you.
Well, let's just do it where I just
Okay.
suggested. It shouldn't take that long.
Please take it down.
Okay, all right. So Steve Guard is here, I believe. I saw him up there, even though this is.
Yes, I'm here, Lynn, thank you.
Okay.
Man,
Yep, I'm just reminding you that this case is closed. Okay, all right, so the board received a correspondence from Attorney Steve Guard in reference to the Coastal Wetland District. I'd like to draw the board's attention to the letter. I will read it into the record. Please allow this letter to serve as clarification of the applicant's position relative to the application of the Coastal Wetlands District to this project under Marshfield Municipal Code, Section 305-13.02. After further research, it has been determined that the project, parens, and the site, close parens, does not fall within the Coastal Wetlands District, as defined under subsection B of 13.02. While the zoning map visually depicts a portion of the site within the Coastal Wetlands District, the site does not fall within the more specific definition, quote-unquote, definition of district under 305-13.02B. The site is, quote, covered by water during the average lunar high tides, close quote, as is indicated on sheet 3 of the plan by a blue line along the stone bulkhead identified as line of coastal wetlands average monthly high tide, nor is the site tidal marsh and therefore thereby subject to tidal flooding, close quote. The limits of which are also delineated on the plan along the southern property line of the site. It should further be noted that the mean high tide is 4.48 feet along the bulkhead wall. The top of the bulkhead wall is between 8.5 feet and 9.3 feet above sea level, close parentheses. Above sea level, and the building foundation pad is 8.2 feet above sea level, 4.2 feet above the usual high tide. Okay, so that was a mouthful. For ease of identification of the within plan, references, I have annexed here to a color copy of page 3 of the plan set. Do we have page 3 of the plan set?
Is that is that what she sent, Nancy, is that what you sent this afternoon?
No, well, not the big one.
So this is identified
Bottom.
as sheet number 3 of 5, which is what Greg provided to you this
It
afternoon.
should be saved, I mean, it doesn't have the shading that Greg did.
Right, but this does.
But the line's on there.
But
Yeah.
it does have the line, he just.
He just highlighted it. The line is there, yeah.
Right,
I don't have an electronic copy, is what I'm saying with that.
okay,
Or do we, Nancy?
I believe we.
I thought we had the one that Steve sent, but not the one that Greg did. That's the one that the plotter wouldn't send.
For the last hearing, I believe we did have it up on the screen.
Yes.
It was with.
Just under
it-
site plan.
Yes, it was with Steve Guard's submissions, and there were 5 plans. And it was sheet 3 of those 5.
We each have a copy.
Yeah, we all have it, it's just for the public and to note that we have it, but. So, board members,
I'm just looking at the definition and
yeah,
see that it says the
so
lunar.
coastal wetlands,
Yeah. B has it, the lunar monthly high tide covering all, has to cover the land in order to be part of it.
where's he coming up with that, off of the
It's B in
1302
1302B.
B definition?
Right there in the definition.
Covered by water,
defines the
average
district.
lunar high tide, and all.
Yeah, so that's why I was saying the surveyor is the one that defines that. So that's the zone for the purposes of the zoning map, but the definition is defined by the lunar monthly high tides.
So. Steve's interpretation of the bylaw is correct in your opinion, Brian?
Well, yeah, I'm looking right at it. If you guys pull it up,
Yep,
yeah.
okay,
Is that it there?
yep, that's it, thank you.
We can just take notice of
Sorry about that.
No, you're good.
We can just take notice that the presumptive line is incorrect and that this area is not part of it.
So this particular, we're looking at site plan, Marshfield for the site plan approval, 30902, and we are at 305. 305-1302, 1202, we're aware of, and then clarify the existing parent. Okay, so Andrew, do you mind putting up the previous decision for this particular hearing? Which was, thank you. Okay, hold on there. So the previous decision did reference 13.02. Okay. Board Feather Fund. Anthony, do you want to weigh in on this?
I don't really know. Well, what do you want me to weigh in on?
So we're looking at a really, in effect, a new special permit for this project. But I'd like to piggyback it off of the existing decision that was, that you're seeing in front of you. So if the existing decision that we're seeing in front of us is not, is argued not to be correct because the argument is 13.02 and we are,
What we're stating in there is that it complies with 1302. So we're saying it's okay because it complies with 1302.
it complies with.
Yeah.
The only thing it says is that both uses are allowed in B4 waterfront district, which really isn't what we're talking about here, so. Yeah, no, that's correct.
Yeah,
It says it
the
complies.
answer's fine.
Okay, so then if we were to, whoops,
Sorry.
no, you're fine. So if, I don't have it in front of me to make notes on it. If the board was to adopt the previous decision, we would need to make changes to those conditions. Or just make an editorial change to the use.
Then that's the decision if you want to take any notes or something.
This is 490 Plain Street.
Oh, sorry.
That's what I had, and I was, that's, you don't want to be linked to this project.
No thanks.
My bad.
Yeah,
There by itself, so.
Thank you.
Hey, Chris. Look at how fancy these used to be.
It's in
Why
this.
are we doing, why are we changing this aspect of the special permit when it was just a modification of the use?
Because it was advised that we create a new decision. We're not modifying the existing decision.
It's a whole new application,
It's a whole
Andrew.
new application.
But we're using our same answer from last
So I
time.
think I found it, Nancy, from last time.
I mean, if you want my opinion, I obviously just read this now for the first time, but, reading, the letter, yes, it's not, quote, covered by water during average lunar high tides, and it's not, quote, tidal marsh and thereby subject to tidal flooding, but it leaves out a pretty distinct definition, which is identified in the report, Soil Survey, Plymouth County, Massachusetts, issued by July 1969 by the Soil Conservation Service of the U.S. Department of Agriculture as being tidal marsh, and then by subject to tidal flooding and included in this district. So, I mean, if you go back to the Soil Survey from 1969, I'm just going by what is actually in our definition. That is a tidal marsh in that area. That's why that is the delineation of the coastal wetlands district based on that soil survey. So, that's the definition.
Okay. Well, the decision was that it complies with the purposes of the Coastal Wetlands District in the decision, case 20-14. So,
I agree, I'm wondering why we're trying to eliminate it.
okay.
We're not eliminating it, we're
I
agreeing
think I
with it.
misunderstood the purpose of the letter from Steve.
We're agreeing with it, Andrew.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's, I meant the letter.
Oh, the letter from, yeah, I know, that's why I was looking for some input from the board.
We're agreeing with our previous decision in writing.
Good.
We don't have to reach the question of whether or not the letter is right or wrong.
Right. So the board would agree that I'm just saying it again, 1302, it
So you want to
would
throw that back
comply.
up there, Andrew, as we're going back through this?
Yeah, the decision 20-14, Andrew. Does everybody have it?
All right, so we were down through there.
13,
We're doing,
2 years reconstruction. Project.
So it wouldn't be possible just to modify this for a change of
but we're
use?
giving, this is a whole new application, we can't. They put a new application in, what we're doing is we're agreeing that what we said last time
Still holds up,
applies,
just
still
changing the
holds,
language in
And this is gonna
this
be
and
the same,
applying it
this
to
is
the
a
new
new
one.
decision, but we're using this language.
Okay.
We're going through it to make sure it still complies.
So the first paragraph of the decision.
We're happy with.
We will just be a reiteration of what was advertised for this. Correct, Nancy?
Yeah, we would just
Yeah.
accept
Yeah, the first
everything in
para-
here.
Under the heading will just be the advertising
Yeah,
and any plans submitted.
right,
And it just set the
Everybody
terms
understand
in
that?
there if we agree with them.
right. So it will be, we're clarifying it to the use of a previously approved building as shipbuilding and ship repair facility. Okay. Alrighty. Attorney Guard also sent us a condition that, so I think that takes care of the conditions, correct?
Yeah, so the
For everything else, yeah.
storage building and bait shop would,
Right, so
that's
the
just the
other,
title, it doesn't matter, but it,
right, the other condition that Attorney Guard added, another correspondence was the proposed shipbuilding use shall be incidental and accessory to the ship repair use and shall not include manufacturing without further approval by the board. Okay?
yeah.
Yep, everybody good with that?
Absolutely.
Steve, are you okay with that condition?
Yeah, we're just accepting the new site plan that says proposed replacement shipbuilding and repair facility.
In addition to
In
that,
addition
That
to
will
that,
go on.
yeah.
in addition to that, this has to do with the comments that you made
Yep,
as well,
that's fine.
okay? So you're good with that?
I'm good with that.
Okay. So let's, unless the board would like to deliberate further?
I'm happy with what we've done, so.
Okay. So, we voted on the site plan approval at the previous hearing.
Show this.
This is based on the special permit. I'd like to make a motion to grant the special permit with the comments in regards to case 20-14 and the inclusion of the condition that I just read aloud to the board. Do I have a second?
Second?
Second by Brian Murphy. All those in favor of granting the special permit?
Larry Keane, aye.
Lynn Fiddler, aye.
Chris Valenzosa, aye.
Brian Murphy, aye.
Steve Feeney?
Steve Feeney, aye.
All righty.
Can I just clarify something?
Yes, please.
So the conditions that are on the 20-14 decision and the new condition are the conditions for the new.
That's correct. With numbers, well, actually, we'd probably insert, the proposed shipbuilding use shall be incidental, blah, blah, blah. as item number 3, and then renumber 4, 5, and 6. Okay, you with me? All right. Attorney Guard, are you all set?
The only thing, Ms. Fiddler, is I believe you need to vote on amending site plan. You issued the new special permit, but an official vote on amendment of the site plan approval based on the final plan that was filed. It should be added.
I thought
Unless missed that.
I thought I did that last time, no?
No.
No, we.
We
Did
didn't,
you?
we just closed both and moved forward, okay.
I think you just, yeah, I think you just closed, but my memory is not so good today.
Okay. All right, well
Doesn't hurt
then,
if we do it again.
yeah, it's not gonna hurt if we do it again. So I'd like to make a motion to grant the site plan approval with, noting that the plans that were provided, there were minor changes to that, and the board's okay with that. And we talked about lighting, we talked about other issues as well. Let me just make sure I have. Revision date. There was a slightly larger, and a reoriented change on the plans. What else? Two principal uses, blah, blah, blah. What else, yeah, the, coming back from the street. Right. And the applicant was going to correct a minor change referencing, I think it was sheet 4 or 5 on one of the things, but I think we took care of that.
Yeah, there's a typo, correct.
Yep, that was corrected. Okay. But you did not have a site plan approval on the previous decision, or did we? Brian, do you have that?
Which one?
The previous,
No, I don't recall. I thought we had a site plan approval and a special permit on the previous meeting.
I'm looking.
Yeah. All right.
Maybe we're just amending the site plan approval.
Yeah, it was a grant of special permit and site plan approval. The board unanimously voted to approve the site plan in accordance with 305-12.02 in the previous decision. Okay, I'm all set to move forward. I'd like to make a motion to grant the site plan approval. Do I have a second?
Second?
All those in favor of granting the site plan approval for case 20-02? Larry?
Larry Keane, aye.
And Fiddler, aye.
Chris Bozos, aye.
Brian Murphy, aye.
Steve Feeney.
Steve Feeney, aye.
Okay, all right. Anything else?
I think that's it, right?
I think so.
Good.
Thank you,
Thank
Tony.
you. All right, thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Steve. Have a nice
Yeah,
evening.
thank you, everyone.
Yep.
You too.
Yep. All right. I just added the agenda to this. So folks, I believe you're up. If you'd like to approach the board,
You can stay there. if
or you
want.
can stay there, whatever you'd like to do.
So, do we need to
You
stand
wanna-
or should
No,
You can
sit
just-
right there if you want.
You can just stay there, but I'm looking for, I took-
What's doing about the microphone?
oh, the microphone. Yeah, you may need to come up so you're heard through Zoom.
You can bring a chair up if you want.
There's that green sheet right over here.
Ooh, special.
All right, so are we,
So you're just gonna
Ready
sit
to-
tight, and I'm going to read it into the record, and then we'll get right to it. So this is case 2205. This is a new hearing, AVPM MA8 LLC. The petitioner is seeking a special permit in accordance with 305-5.04 agricultural, number 5, commercial stables, kennels, or veterinary hospital of the Marshfield Municipal Code for an animal hospital on the property located at 490 Plain Street, which is further identified on the assessor's maps as being on parcel E1003-06 and is located in the OP zoning district and the Water Resource Protection District, which is referred to as the WRPD. So welcome to the board. If you would like to describe your situation, you'll see your application is here in front of us. We'll listen to what you have to say.
Okay, well, thank you for having us here, and I'd like to introduce myself as Dr. Jeffrey Barrow. This is my wife, Donna Barrow. We are co-owners of the Marshfield Animal Hospital in our 19th year at 490 Plain Street. We recently took on a private equity partner at the end of December, and thus changed our business entity, and came to our attention that we needed a special permit to be able to operate, which is a little ironic because there's been an operating animal hospital at 490 Plain Street since 1982. Dr. Randolph Adams was the former owner who we purchased the business from in 2003. So we actually did an expansion in 2008, and we appeared in front of the ZBA and had to get a variance to make some changes on the property and expand, and everything was approved. And I'm not quite sure why at that point it wasn't brought to our attention that a special permit was needed to operate as an animal hospital. We provide very important health services to the pets in the community, to Marshfield and the surrounding towns. We've got a pretty clean record, but from what I understand, there needs to be a special permit issued for us to be able to operate.
Okay,
It's just a zoning thing.
yeah.
Those are your monkeys that escaped, right?
No monkeys. No, I never had a monkey come in.
You
Although I
should
tell
see,
people if they can fit it through the door, we'll see it.
my grandson's like 2.5, and the story was just, you should have seen his.
When he saw the money.
Yeah, my mother was telling him about the story. Anyway, that's getting off topic, but, so I'm happy you're here in front of us this evening to get this straightened out. So we have a deed for this particular project?
It's already in the file.
It's in the file, okay. All righty. So the previous site plan approval, the property consists of 44,534 square feet, and the existing building as it currently sits is 24,900 square feet. Does that sound about right?
That
Was that prior to the-
existing- That was prior to the
Okay.
expansion. Yep.
So do you have an as-built or something of that? Is that what we're looking at here?
I think it's the one they turned in.
I need to put my,
When I put in the file is the one from
Yeah.
the last hearing.
so are we looking at the same plan?
Yeah, that's the addition piece, yep.
September 2007?
Yep.
Yes.
Construction was completed in December of '08, so.
So you never got an as-built for this property? Andrew, do you have an as-built for this?
No,
No, okay.
I can check, take another quick look. Hang on.
Okay, thank you. But this was what you proposed and came in front of the board
Yes.
with?
Yes, that was
Okay,
approved, yep.
okay,
I'm sure there's one on record if they
yeah,
do the building permit.
yeah.
I believe that there have been no complaints from our neighbors either.
Yeah, we'll ask the
No
public.
escapees.
No escapees. Okay. He's just gonna see, so we could add it to our file.
Oh, yeah.
I do have an as-built. We have a paper as-built in our paper file here.
Okay.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Welcome.
I'll get that from you.
I have it, yeah.
And save it to the
Yeah.
electronic file.
So I think that everything else is in order. So there was a comment from planning in regards to this and whether or not, if you in the future decided to change or add to the structure or change the use, you would have to go in front of was that correct? Go in front of planning for, because it's in the WRPD?
Right, at one time it wasn't in the WRPD, and then I think after the addition was built, it is in the WRPD.
Okay.
So any future changes you need to go to, because it's in that,
Mm-hmm.
and the planning board is this special permit granting authority for that.
Okay.
So you'd have to go to
I
that.
can, that, Lynn,
Yeah.
as well.
What?
I can speak to that as well.
Oh, thank you.
So, yeah, they had actually approached the planning board to have a variance from the WRPD requirements and then decided to move the septic system, so it actually was outside of the WRPD, and then they withdrew without prejudice. So, when they installed the septic system, it was outside of the WRPD, and then 5 years later, then it was after that they included it into the area. So that's why any future expansion will require a WRPD permit, but right now, what it's all about is just kind of cleaning up the books. We're doing this with a lot of businesses. It's not reflective of the business. They didn't do anything wrong.
Yep.
You know, we're just trying to clean up the books and make sure that everything's legitimate.
Okay. I appreciate that, and the board does as well. So, are there any comments from the board? Further
No.
comments? Are there any comments from the public? Again, if you're dialing in, you would need to press *6 on your phone to be heard. Alrighty. No comments from the public. So let's move forward with this, and it's my opinion that it would be fine to close. Can
We
I
accept it
make a
with all-
motion?
With the,
What?
yeah, we're just gonna close it, yep.
What are you saying?
No, go ahead, close.
I'd like to make a motion to close case 2205 for
Second?
490 Plain Street, seconded by Brian Murphy. All those in favor of closing?
Larry Keane, aye.
Lynn Fiddler, aye.
Chris Miller votes aye.
Brian Murphy, aye.
Steve Feeney?
Feeny, aye.
Alrighty. So the special permit number 1 through 6 are fulfilled according to the board, and the building commissioner call on the first, okay.
I agree with the answers given.
Yeah, I'm just looking at Bob's comments. Alrighty. I'd like to make a motion to grant the special permit for case 2205. Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Larry Keane, aye.
Lynn Fiddler, aye.
Chris Miller votes aye.
Brian Murphy, aye.
Steve Feeney?
Feeny, aye.
All right. So you are all set.
Thank you.
Thank you.
all
I
very
so much.
appreciate your time coming in
course,
and
thank
Appreciate you.
cleaning this up. Thank you.
Right.
So Murph, you're gonna step out?
Yes.
Thank
Well, I
you
don't
for
have to come back.
joining us.
I don't have to come back.
You don't have to come back. We'll talk later. Thank you.
No, you're more than welcome. I'll talk to you tomorrow about your next steps.
Okay, wonderful, thank you so much.
Everybody have a
Have a
great
nice
night.
day.
Same to you. Have a
Yes.
nice evening.
Good, thank
Okay.
you.
All right. So do we have the applicant for case 2206?
Paul Seaberg is here from Grady Consulting to
Oh.
represent the applicant.
Okay, Paul, just a minute. I'm gonna get this underway. Just making a note. We're gonna read this into the record. This is 22-06, Kenneth and Laura Lawson. The petitioners are seeking a special permit in accordance with 305-13.02 C.01, 305-10.10, and 305-10.12, and a variance in accordance with 305-10.11 of the Marshfield Municipal Code for relief from 305-6.07 to construct a 2-foot by 50 548-foot pier with an 8-foot by 8-foot landing on the property located at 62 Marginal Street, which is further identified on the assessor's maps as being on parcel M060407 and is located in an R3 zoning district. So, before we get started, this board currently sits 4 members strong. Are you prepared to move forward with a board this evening, or would you like to continue to another date certain? As you know, the special permit requires 4 votes, 4 of 5 votes, and the variance also requires 4 of the 5 votes. So you would need all 4 members to move forward this evening. The call is yours.
Mrs. Lawson, are you attending the meeting right now? Are you okay with us moving forward?
So we only have 4 members, so everyone has to agree. I guess they need. How many members are there usually?
We have 7 members on the zoning board. We had 1 member resign, so we're currently sitting 6 members. And we have 4, at this point, 4 full-time members and 2 associate members. But right now, we have 2 full-time members and 2 associate members sitting in front of you until the selectmen decide what's going to happen with that full-time member position.
And to clarify, if there's a dissenting vote now, what would happen to the project?
You would have to wait 2 years. You could withdraw it. Could you?
Looked like it wasn't gonna be.
Oh, if they felt that it wasn't going to be, yeah, you
If
could.
we continue?
If we go through this evening, and you get the inclination that this is something that the board may not be willing to approve, then you could chime in and share your thoughts with the board and withdraw without prejudice till a later date, or we certainly could continue it, but if the board decides to move forward this evening, you are with the 4 votes.
Okay, then I think if we move forward with the option to have a discussion for the vote, I think that would be great.
So you're prepared to move forward with the 4 votes? For this evening, anyway. I want to make sure I understand you clearly.
That if we move forward and we have an inclination that it's not going in the right direction, that we could then ask for a continuance?
That's.
Or what a proper term would be?
Yeah, the board would have to vote for a continuance, but that's a possibility.
Or you can move ahead, what was the other thing, move ahead with a different date without prejudice?
Yeah, well, this board right now has just opened your hearing, so we can right now take a vote to continue this to the next date that we have on the board for you. So that's February 8th, and I think that there is a lot on the docket that evening.
Do you think you'll have more members?
My quick answer is yes, but I never know for sure, nor does the board. You don't know what's gonna happen week to week.
Sure.
And there are other options to withdraw without prejudice and then refile the application.
I wouldn't suggest that. But I'll tell you, typically, applicants do proceed, but that's not my advice to you, but I'm telling you, typically they will proceed with a vote of 4. Oh.
Okay. Yeah, that's a tricky one.
Would they be able to get on the 8th or no?
Well, we can get on the 8th, but right now we have 9, didn't it? 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, plus 10. So I would not be inclined to move this to February 8th. And the next one is the 22nd, I believe.
And I'm not gonna be here.
Is there an option to move forward with it, say yes, and before you get to a vote, opt for a continuance at that point?
We
If it
can,
seemed that it's going out of the direction we were thinking?
we can take your information and I don't want to advise you in this, but.
I know, that's a tricky one. I think we should just move forward.
Lynn, one thing I will say is, isn't it like a lot of members sometimes feel like if they weren't here to hear the initial request, they're not that comfortable voting on something that they weren't here to hear the initial application for?
That's correct. We would have them listen to the tape prior to voting. Listen to the tape and see it on Zoom. So they would have the opportunity to, that's the thing that's changed, at least with Zoom. You're really seeing it live.
Okay, so if we start the hearing and it seems like more information is needed or people aren't happy with what we have, can you just clarify, can we continue?
So the board, so say for example, we take all your information this evening and you're missing a few pieces of the pie. The board, as we sit here this evening, the 4 votes, would make a decision to move this hearing to another date. So we would continue your hearing to another date certain. If we don't have the information that we need tonight, we would continue it. And then the next hearing that you are put on, there is a chance that, for example, Chris isn't there, I'm not there, or somebody's there, but they would listen to the tape and be able to vote on your hearing based on the information they heard this evening. So that's typically the way it works.
Paul, do you have any thoughts?
It's tough. I wish there was more board members to vote on it tonight. But this is a pretty straightforward dock project, and pretty standard for all dock projects, so I don't really see much of a concern.
All right, I guess we'll go for it then.
All right. Okay. Then, Paul, I'm going to begin by you're seeing in front of you the application that you submitted through Nancy.
Yes.
Yeah, speak. Just a second, please. Okay, we'll get to that. Okay. I heard you say that earlier. So this, let's see where you stand, 1302, 10. Okay. Andrew, can you keep moving forward? All right. Okay. We're looking for 2D, right? Do we have Form 2D in front of us? I don't have that. Isn't Form 2D which one is the variance one?
I believe it's 2B.
2B? 2B or not 2B?
I think 2D is site plan.
I don't seem to have that in front of me.
This stuff's all together after the letter in their application,
Yeah, just a second.
so there's 2B.
Okay, I just wanted to see the rationale for the reasoning for the variance. Paul, was the advice to come in front of us for a variance, through someone here?
Yes.
Who was-
Yes, through Nancy and I believe maybe Andrew as well. Typically, we have to request a variance for these dock projects to extend through the rear property line in order
Okay,
to access the water.
right. Okay. That's usually the way they come in front
Yeah,
of us,
no,
but.
it doesn't appear that they're going through the rear of the property.
Where, the question
So
I
let's
had
go-
was where the, and then,
Yeah, let's start there.
It looks like they're on that property the whole time. That's how I misread it.
where,
The
what, does property line go to the?
That's
mean
what
the
Chris
water
is-
then, Paul, or?
That's
No,
what,
so basically, in the deed, it states to, the Green Harbor River, which technically would be considered the top of bank along the high tide line, unless it specifically says to the mean low water.
you think it's drawn
Well,
to the mean?
if you look at your sheet one, it sort of indicates that your property line is a mean low water, that's where the blue line is. Unless I'm misreading your preparation.
Paul, where do you stand with the other boards at this time? And
We have
the-
approval from the Conservation Commission at this time.
you have approval? Have you been
Yes.
in front of the waterways?
We require to get approval from the zoning board and conservation before we file with the DEP waterways for the chapter 91 license.
Okay, have you
as well
spoken
as
to,
Army Corps.
yeah, and you're spoken to the harbor master?
Yep, the harbor master's okay with the project. Originally, we were gonna extend it out to, actually have a dock and a float, but we couldn't get the required water depth in order to do so. That's why we cut it short right at the edge of the salt marsh there. So they still have access to the water.
Okay. We're still, you guys are working on the property line. Nancy, did we get conservation, a letter from them on this? Or anything from them? Where they've already been in front of conservation? Did Bill send anything over?
He did. I believe he said that they had been approved of their, orders of conditions. Andrew, is that in there?
Yes.
Main Street. Can you pull that up so I can, or we can take a peek at that?
That's about it right there.
Yeah.
Does it go down further?
Oh, he did send the, order conditions.
Yeah. What's odd about the configuration? Anything crazy about it?
It's just a ladder going down the
I think he's probably just commenting that if that is the lot line there, that it's an odd configuration, that he's not going out past the lot line.
I think he just means that it's not the normal, like, float, situation.
Yeah. Okay.
If I can answer, that's exactly it. This
Is
Ken
it? Okay.
Lawson. It was exactly it.
Okay. Do you intend to have any electricity? Oh. Go ahead, Andrew.
I just was saying, I speak Grafton.
You speak Grafton. Oh. Okay, so Paul, is there any proposed lighting on the dock or anything that we need to be aware of?
I'll let Ken answer that.
Okay.
I'll let you.
It's a,
No, we have not proposed lighting out there. Really hasn't been part of our plan at all.
so no, so the conditions would, we're gonna get to this in a minute, but I'm going to pull up a previous, or Andrew will for us, a previous decision, and let you take a peek at it as far as how we have worked in previous docs into our zoning. Anything else about this?
Property line ends at the beginning of the property. Okay.
I'm gonna just leave, yeah, I'm just gonna leave it as is.
Andrew, was any issue with the width of the proposed dock?
Andrew, did you hear the question from Chris?
No, I did not.
Was there any issue with the width? Is there a limit, a minimum width it should be?
The structure itself, the dock system, do you have building requirements?
I mean, there are building requirements, right, for all these docks, right? I mean, technically, you gotta treat it like a deck or something, right? Technically, it is a long, thin deck, right? But where these are permitted structures through Chapter 91 and they are specifically engineered, we go by the engineering that's approved, and lots of times there's multiple approvals through, like you said, the Harbor Master. Some of these are done through the North and South River Watershed Association, all that, the North River Commission, all sorts of stuff. So we get into a bunch of different layers of regulations. So when it comes to the building code, with a structure like this, I just go by the engineered documents as far as that goes. So once they provide like the engineering for how they're actually going to build it, that's basically what we go by there for the entire structure.
Fair enough.
Sometimes when there have been, the dock system itself begins in a very public area, we've asked for some sort of a fencing,
Yeah,
gate
yeah,
type,
it just,
key
the
type
narrowness
stuff,
of the
and,
decking
yeah,
is 2 feet is pretty narrow, but if
Yeah.
you're fine with Andrew, I'm fine with it.
okay. So Andrew, would you mind, putting up a previous decision, maybe the one on, I don't know,
It's just the conditions.
yeah.
It's in the file.
Oh, you have a file with just the conditions, perfect. So this applicant can take a peek at a conditions that the board would typically require. And then Paul, you'll get a chance to look at that and then give us your input.
Okay.
Nancy, where's that?
It should be a Word
Just,
doc, conditions, or doc conditions.
Oh, I got you. Yeah, I got it. See that? Let me change the screen. Why do I do this right?
You're getting there. Is that what you were referring to? Oh, I thought it looked different. Oh, okay.
Yeah, you just wanted to get it on one screen.
Oh, okay.
That's a lot better.
There you go.
Yeah. Sorry.
You guys were probably panicking. Oh no, I have to read all that.
Break out the cheaters over here.
I know. I have my husbands. They're so attractive. So this board is pretty familiar with this particular list of conditions, but I'd like you to take your time and read through it and see if there's anything that you need to talk about with the board. And the board certainly, if there's anything in addition they'd like to add to this or talk about, clean this up a little bit, but. I do want to draw your attention to number 12.
Yep. Right, I don't think that'll be necessary, since they won't have a float or ramp.
Right.
I think this looks good.
What? So we will leave that in to the decision. Obviously, if it's not applicable, then it's not applicable, but I don't want to strike that out.
Are the stairs gonna be removed in the wintertime? Seems to indicate.
The stairs are going to be removable, and then I think we would just follow the same rules and store them upland.
Yep. So we could add the dock and stairs. But, all right. I'd like.
That's good.
Okay, I'd like to ask the public if they have any comments, or questions in regard to this hearing for 62 Marginal Street. Okay. Seems to be no comments from the public. Number 13 here does have the as-built plan to the building commissioner, Board of Health, the Conservation Commission, the Planning Board, and the Board of Appeals. So you need to pay attention to that. I'm sure Andrew will be in touch with you as far as that goes, but I'd like to make a motion to close case, where are we? Case 2206. Do I have a second?
Larry Keane, second.
All those in favor of closing?
Larry Keane, aye.
Lynn Fiddler, aye.
Chris Belizos, aye.
And Steve Feeney?
Steve Feeney, aye.
All righty. So this hearing is now closed. Does the board feel we need to deliberate on this case? No.
I am good.
Everybody's good. Okay. I'd like to make a motion to grant the special permit in accordance with 305-13.02, C.01, 305-10.10, and 305-10.12. Do I have a second?
Larry Keane, second.
All those in favor of granting the special permit?
Larry Keane, aye.
Lynn Fiddler, aye.
Chris Belizos, aye.
Steve Feeney?
Steve Feeney, aye.
All right. The variance. I'd like to make a motion, did I already close it?
Yeah.
I'd like to make a motion to grant the variance in accordance with the application and the findings of fact in Form 2B. The land is situated on Green Harbor River, topography and soils access to the, okay. Existing salt marsh, tide cycles, soil conditions. All right. All those in favor of granting the variance in accordance with 305-10.11 of the Marshfield Municipal Code for relief from 305-6.07.
Larry Keane,
Need a second.
Do I have a second?
second.
Seconded by Larry Keane. All those in favor?
Larry Keane, aye.
Lynn Fiddler, aye.
Chris Belizos, aye.
Steve Feeney?
Steve Feeney, aye.
Okay. So you have a vote of 4-0 to grant the special permit and a vote of 4-0 to grant the variance. So you're all set. Be in touch.
Thank you, Rick.
You're very welcome. Be in touch with Nancy if you have any questions tomorrow or in the future, and good luck with your project.
Thank you.
All
Have a
right.
good evening.
Same to you.
Good night.
All right. Is there anything else we need to do, Nancy? All right. I did want to, before we close for this evening, I want to start getting our board members more involved in the hearing process. So the next hearing is on February 8th, and we have special permit with a breezeway. So that is one that I think somebody could jump in on. And a special permit, 10.10, 9.02B, that's with Andrew's advice. 2208, you're gonna have to have Andrew's input on, but that's another one that someone might want to throw their hat in the ring. Same thing with the special permit for 2209. 2210 is a variance and a special permit. So I think that I'll keep that one here in my lap. This one also. 2211.
Send those out this week.
I just think it
and
would.
ask for volunteers for different ones and first come, first served.
Well, I've done it before and we haven't, so we have 3 other board members here this evening, so if they would like to pick up one
So
of
pick
any,
tonight.
what, I'm
So you
sorry?
want to choose tonight.
Yeah, if they
Okay.
can,
I
if
would-
they can't, then then we can, they can reach out to you.
I'll pick whatever you want.
Whatever,
Pick one and
okay, so why don't, do you feel the same way?
Yeah,
Just,
I'll do
so
the breezeway. I'll do
you're
that
gonna
one.
do the breezeway?
Okay.
So-
use the
So, Chris, why don't you do 2208? It's L-shaped deck, elevated single-family dwelling, 125. Mr. Feeney, do you care to throw yourself in the mix here?
Sure, for what meeting, next one?
Yes, for on the 8th of February, we have another farmer's porch, a special permit. You want to do that one?
Yeah, I'm just looking for my calendar, so I can't find, but that's fine,
What
unless
number
I
was
have
that one?
something on, but yeah.
2209.
2209.
So that's a special permit on 44 Old Beach Road.
Okay.
And then we'll just see how the chips fall on the rest of them, but thank you for doing that, folks. And feel free to reach out to any of us.
So I need to either one.
Yeah, I would say where it's 9.02, I would reach out to Andrew on that. All right, so I'd like to make a motion to adjourn. Do I have a second?
Larry Keane, second.
All those in favor? Larry?
Larry Keane, aye. I'm sorry.
Lynn Fiddler? Aye.
Chris Fellows, aye.
Steve, motion to adjourn?
Aye.
All right, thank you. All right, good night, everybody. Have a nice evening.
Take care, everyone. Take care.